Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Eurogamer in September of this year, 2016. The event is going to be 4 days again this year, from Thursday the 22nd of September 2016 through to Sunday the 25th of September 2016. As I said, it's going to be at the NEC in Birmingham again this year. Last year it was moved. It was the first year last year for the NEC at Birmingham. It was moved from Earl's Court in London, where it was held previously, and reason being for that, the event was getting so popular and so big that they had to move it to a bigger venue. And I believe the NEC in Birmingham is like the biggest arena in the UK, so it was a wise choice. Moving it to Birmingham did hold some positives and also some negatives, which I'll talk about in a minute. So price wise, if you're looking at going for the whole 4 days, it's going to cost you £65 this year. Last year it was £60, so it's jumped up a fiver this year. And I think there's a reason behind that, which I'll go through in a minute. If you want to go in for individual days, so if you only want to go in for 1 day or 2 days, it's better to get the day tickets. So 1 day ticket with early access will cost you £21. Without the early access, it will cost you £18. And early access means you get to go into the venue an hour before everyone else without the early access. So that's the best option really if you want to make the most of the event. If you want to get in there early and get in the queue for one of the bigger games you want to play, early access is the way to go. This year I've decided to go for the whole weekend, just because I went for 2 days last year and I believe I could have done with a bit more time. And the negatives of last year were the queuing times. The queue times at Birmingham were quite horrendous for the bigger games. Star Wars Battlefront and The Division were two of the biggest games at that venue, and you were looking at 2.5 3 hours for each of those queues. So if you didn't get the early access, you're only in the actual arena for 7 hours. So if you're spending 3 hours of that queuing for the event, that's like nearly half of your day wasted on one game, and you only get to play the game for 15-20 minutes depending on which game you're playing. So I believe that I should have gone on the Thursday. I went on the Friday and Saturday. Friday was fairly sort of medium busy, and then Saturday was horrendously busy, and that was because of obviously kids being off school, people being off work for the weekend. So Saturday is really busy, and at the time of me talking in this video, the early access tickets for Saturday have gone. So there is still tickets available for the whole weekend, 4 day tickets, and there's still early access tickets for the other days. But as it stands, the early access tickets for Saturday have already sold out, which is quite a surprise, with it being only the middle of February and it's September when the event is. So the only criticisms I had were the queuing times, as I've said. They have promised to resolve that this year. That's why I think they may have increased the price. And I think if you think about the price increases, I think the 4 day ticket's gone up £5 and the day tickets have gone up about £3 or £4. And I think that's going to give them a bigger budget to get the revenue to provide more screens for the bigger games. If you go onto the Q&A section on the actual EGX website, which I'll put down in the link below, they answer a lot of questions from the feedback the game gained last year, because they put out a survey afterwards explaining, basically asking people what their pluses and minuses were on the event. And the big one was the queue time. Another one was the food choices. When I went there last year, they had Subway stands, Subway sandwich, and the queues for them were quite horrendous because there was only two Subway stands at each end, and I think we queued about 20 minutes to get a Subway sandwich, and it was literally a Subway sandwich, not even toasted, all slapped on, and and they charge you about £8 for it, so it was more expensive than actually going into Subway, which I kind of understand. It's an event, you expect to pay a little bit more for food, but you don't want to be paying that for a half-assed Subway sandwich. There was another sort of indoor bit where you could eat, and the queue was out the door for that, and that they sort of served burger and chips and stuff like that in there. Maybe going in there would have been a better option. They've promised to try and resolve the food situation. Wasn't the first thing on my mind anyway. We had a good breakfast before we went in, and it's like the last thing on your mind is eating later on, because you just want to get as much as you can in. But you do get to a point where you think, actually, I'm a bit peckish, I'll go and get something to eat. You don't want to be stood there for sort of half an hour of your day when you could be queuing for another game. So yeah, so basically 4-day event, £65 if you get your tickets in now. It's better to do it now than later on. I do believe now the early Saturday tickets have sold out. I think the 4-day tickets will start selling significantly now. I expect the event to be completely sold out by sort of Easter. Once the 4-day tickets sell out, then people start buying the day tickets, or the only days they can get in. So me and a mate of mine who's involved with my podcast and stuff like that, and I play online with, we've already got our tickets. We got in early. There will be 2 more joining us. I am looking for more people to join us. If you know me personally, or you're interested in coming and joining our group, give me a shout. You can do that on YouTube, or you can message me on Xbox. The more the merrier, really. So yeah, I will be going for the whole 4 days. I will have to head back earlier on the Sunday because I've got to go back to Cornwall. So I'll have to sort of go in and sort of leave mid-afternoon, or sort of stay an extra night. But anyway, I'm going to leave that there. If you've got any questions about Eurogamer or my experiences there, I may put another video out of what I experienced at Eurogamer last year. I just wanted to talk about the logistics of this year, really, rather than the event of last year. So I'll see you on the next video. If you've got any questions about Eurogamer or the prices, hotels, anything like that, give me a shout and I'll speak to you personally, and I'll see you on my next video. Cheers.